What's up, YouTube? My name is Bonanza86, and if you're watching this video, I wanted to share a little story with you on how my current musical project, Trust, came to be. I'm going to take you back to late 2009. I had just released my fifth album, Pen Rage, and at the time it was my most professional project released. And it was also the first project I had put out in which was using my brand spanking new MXL 990 USB microphone that I had purchased from Musician's Friend in early 2009 for $100. Before then, all of my previous projects, I was using a very crappy computer mic, and consequently the quality of my music suffered greatly, and I really wanted to step away and really put in some money so that the people who were listening to my music could tell a great contrast from my earlier releases. So Pen Rage was completed in 2009, late 2009, and the original release had 18 songs. And then I released, air quote, a deluxe edition which included 22 songs altogether. But I never really, not many people heard it. So let's just say that the original release of Pen Rage had 18 songs. So after that, I was pretty burned out creatively, because I had done 3 albums in 3 years. Quarantine Vocabulary was completed in 2007. It had 14 songs. Looking back on it, I wish I would have done better on it, but I figured that at the time I had had enough tracks to properly release it to the public. And then 6 months later, I did B&A that had 16 songs on it, or 17 if you include the bonus track I added. So let's see, 14 plus 17, that's 31. And then I did Pen Rage, late 2009, that had 18 songs. So 31 plus 18, that's 49 songs. And then if you include the 4 extra tracks I put in the deluxe edition, that's 53 songs in 3 years' time. That averages out to almost 18 songs a year, which is a lot. So anyway, I was burned out. What was I going to do next musically? Maybe, I did have an idea initially around the end of 2009, because one of my musical collaborators, Just Right, big shout outs to him, he was working on an album called The Love Drug, and it was going to be a project that consisted of love songs. And I said, that doesn't sound too bad. I haven't really had an opportunity to, touch on that. But I wanted my album to have a little twist. I wanted to show that there was 2 sides to love. There's the good and there's the bad. But it didn't have a title. So I went on Facebook and I was asking, whoever's on my friend list, what can I call this concept album? So I got the title Mixed Signals from a good friend of mine, Matt Brandon. Shout outs to him. And I initially started working on it in December of 2009. And then about, I guess, a year after that, I didn't really have that many songs. And I was also struggling with my creativity. I was having a really, really bad case of writer's block. And I wasn't motivated. So, whenever a song would get made, it would just get made sporadically because I had something in me that said, okay, let me write this, let me write this. And then, also personal things that happened in my life prompted me to, write this song in response to that, and write that song in response to that. So, around mid to late 2013, I had enough material to release mixed signals, but I did not want to do it the way I had been doing all my other releases, which was, sitting in this room with my microphone, with this music program called Samplitude, and just having the mix turn out so choppy and so unprofessional. So I was just very fortunate enough to reconnect with one of my old high school classmates, Uriah. Big shout outs to Uriah. Matter of fact, if it weren't for me reconnecting with him at that time, I wouldn't have released mixed signals. So from October of 2013 to December 2013, we got the songs recorded, and I put out the album just before the end of 2013. However, it didn't hit my Bandcamp until mid-January of 2014. So it was released. I was very happy with how the project turned out. It was my first released project in well over 3 years. And I was like, okay, we got this done. What's next? So in the middle of 2014, I had other songs I had done outside of Mixed Signals, which I had written, and some of them had been recorded between 2009 and then that current year, 2014. So I pretty much scrunched them together, and Brad Moss, big shout outs to Brad Moss, he helped me record them and mix them, and then I put that out, and I called it Ear Charity Part 1. And I don't really consider it an album. I consider it a mixtape because it was basically a compilation of all of the tracks that I had worked on, within that time frame of 3-4 years. And they weren't on any particular CD or release that I had released previously. So that was done, and I was happy that I released 2 projects so quickly. The reception from each project was positive. And in October of 2014, that's when I had come up with this idea that I would do a quickie album. I would see how many songs I could write between October of 2014 and December of 2014. And then I would contact my producer, Yuri, and record them all on the same day, and then release it. And then it'll be the first project that I would attempt to sell. Because all my other releases I released for free. So, I started writing, and by December of 2014, I had 7 songs. Some were long, some were short. But I had enough to at least release an EP. So I did that. And I was going to call the album Trust. it was a double entendre because uh, I had writer's rest, so the rest part, this would be the first album I released with all completely new material. Not just material that I had written like 3-4 years ago. No, this is be material that I had written within the past 12 months. As a matter of fact, within 2 months. And then secondly, the first T would be faded, just showing that, as you get older, your sense of trust tends to fade. And recorded, everything was going well. And then my producer told me late December of 2014 that something happened and that all of the recordings were lost. And I was like, oh my God, I can't be serious. So we were both pretty bummed out, and I just wasn't really motivated to record. Matter of fact, I didn't really start recording anything until March of 2015. And then I had a completely new intro, because before then, I wasn't going to pre-release anything for Trust. So, I went back on my word. But I don't really regret it, because, you got to hear that, and you got to hear another song. And that's it, alright? You're only going to hear two songs. Because currently, I've got 12 completed songs written and possibly recorded for this album. And I want to release this before the end of the year. And if I can't do that, I'm not going to release it at all. So, I'm making sure that I have time and my producer has time. We can get this recorded, mixed, mastered, released to the public, and sold. Because I'm not intending to make a profit, but if you like this music and you're down with me and you've been down with me and you support me, I would really, really appreciate it that upon this album's release, that you put some dollars towards purchasing it, so that you yourself can own a piece of this music history. I know I've been talking for a very long time. This is off. This is basically from the heart. I didn't really rehearse this. This is I'm just winging it. So, with that being said, it's still late. I still need to get to bed. I gotta get some sleep, because I got so much to do tomorrow. Thank you for listening. Trust is coming along wonderfully, and I could not have done this without Uriah, Brad Moss, and all the people who have encouraged me not to give up and to keep recording. And, I am eternally grateful for all of your support. Oh, and last but not least, I want to give a big shout out to one of my friends, Eli Johnson. He is mentioned in one of the songs that I wrote, and I'm very thankful for him, because he's been very supportive and to me, and vice versa. So you guys stay tuned. I know I've talked for a very long time, but I think I'm finished talking for tonight. I am Bonanza86, and I hope everyone here has a good night. Alright? So, see y'all later.